All right, guys, we're here at Transform Christmas with TripleWide Media, and we're doing this thing on Tuesdays called Tribe Talk. It's a new idea, but I wanted to invite two friends. I have Nicholas Rivero here. He is a touring professional, purveyor of video awesomeness, as your business card says. But he's been out with Taylor Swift, Mumford & Sons, Hillsong, Chris Tomlin. He's done some work with Passion conferences in there. So just a wide array of amazing events that he's been a part of. Then I got my friend Jason Dyba, who is a gifted songwriter and event producer, creative purveyor of awesome ideas, if I can say that.
Yeah.
But he's also the creative director at Long Hollow Baptist Church.
Yeah, that's right.
Here in Nashville. So welcome, guys.
Glad to be here.
Thanks.
We just decided that it would be fun to get the three of us together and just talk about a wide array of different ideas. Today we're going to tackle this concept of creativity and inspiration, which we'll never have the time in the world to cover well. But let me just start here. Where do you guys go to find inspiration? Nick, where do you go when you're starting this concept of I need a new idea? Do you start then? Where do you go?
Yeah, I just scour the internet a lot, and I sit and kind of search for different things that kind of topics or things that I'm thinking about looking into. But in particular, I look a lot towards the work of what people in Europe are doing. I'm really motivated. They're doing some really exciting things, combining a lot of art with a lot of new, especially low-cost technologies. There's especially one group called 1024 that I'm a big fan of a lot of things they're doing. So I just kind of find some people and kind of follow and see what they're doing.
That's awesome. Dyba, you obviously, this is an ongoing process as well. Where do you find inspiration?
It is. I listen to a lot of radio, a lot of great storytelling on the radio.
There's no visuals in radio.
Yeah, there's no visuals. It's a little ironic that I get my visual ideas from audio sources. And so I listen to programs like This American Life and Radio Lab.
Have you gotten into This American Life spinoff yet?
Serial? Yes, I'm a huge fan. Love it. I just love stuff like that. I think that's the mark of great storytelling is when you can really have one medium that it kind of ignites the imagination to fill out the spectrum. So yeah. I really love stuff like that.
That's cool. Now, one of the things that makes Jason a little bit unique is he's constantly working in the environment of a team. And when you guys are coming up with ideas, you're having to do this in the context of multiple people, both full-time people in your organization as well as volunteers or those that are not necessarily full-time.
That's right.
When you do these, is this like one big brainstorming meeting, or do you do multiple along the way?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the kind of event or kind of service that we're getting ready for. And so if we're getting ready for Christmas, which a lot of churches are doing, then it's going to be a pretty large meeting. Yeah. And there's going to be multiple, but the first meeting is kind of the meeting for dreaming together. And so in this meeting...
Any idea counts.
Yeah, any idea counts. No wrong answers. We'll bring in people from outside our staff. We'll bring people from different departments of our staff. I don't invite, it's not an open meeting, but I'll extend it out to more people that I think have really great influence, really great input. And then kind of a big part of this is that I like to get out of our normal meeting environment, like get to a space that's different and really an atmosphere that's different. So I'll have someone on our team make cookies and we'll set up trees and we'll have Christmas music. So the moment we enter into the space, it's really like the creativity is already there waiting for us.
Yeah.
And all of these ideas, just what I just listed, really came from Stephen Brewster, another creative director in town. He taught me a lot of those things. I've been putting them into practice. He's had success, and I've had success with it. But
you're trying to create an environment that may stimulate some new idea or bring you into the sense that in many ways your congregation or the people who attend your services are going to be there.
That's right. Really the thing that we want to give to people, I think that we as creative leaders ought to do for the people on our team, really for the people that we want to inspire to then be inspiration to a large group, to a congregation or to an audience.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
And so does that final idea normally happen in that brainstorming, or like do you guys literally walk out with like a ironclad, here's the run of what it's going to look like? Or?
Yeah, actually the goal is the opposite of that. Oh. We don't want to finalize anything in that meeting because it's so broad. There's usually way more ideas than you're actually going to end up using. And so if the first meeting is for dreaming, then the next meeting is really your core team of people, the people who are going to be leaders in whatever you're producing. And so this is the development stage. And really, one of the big things we do here is we sort through the ideas that are appropriate for our congregation, also appropriate for the season that we're in. That's a big factor. Some people can kind of go over too quickly. But then another big important factor is what resources do we have? What personnel do we have? How much time do we have? How much money do we have? And really, one of the
Limiters.
things that I usually ask is what resources already exist that we can capitalize on. So we'll go to sites like TripleWide Media and we'll see what do they have currently, what's some of their newest stuff that really flows with the stream of what we're already talking about. Because if there's things out there that are really quality that we can go ahead and have ready to go, then we want to maximize the use of those things and allow ourselves more time to create the things that don't already exist.
That's cool. And what's unique about Nick over here is that he's oftentimes having to take someone else's original concept and really make it into something that's a reality. I think back to, we were doing the SALT conference, who Nick is really kind of the genius behind a lot of the production. And I remember saying, to you that this third speaker wants to basically destroy our set. And you didn't have an idea and exactly how that was going to be. Talk through the idea of refining someone else's idea, or having to take kind of a core concept and kind of bringing it through what is possible, as he says, what's out there, but what is possible.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I also like to work a lot in teams. So I have a lot of very close friends that I will take a lot of my ideas to, that will give me good, bad feedback, plausible ideas, things like that. And so that really helps. A lot of it for me is, I like to think about the context is kind of where I start of the big picture of what are we trying to implement in the context. I like to think of everything holistically, the whole experience, because I deal a lot with just specifically live events. And so I like to think about every aspect of what's going on and how is this little piece we're engineering part of the bigger picture, part of everything that's happening in the room, and how do we translate it from there?
Yeah.
And so I kind of think along those lines, and then I completely bounce off of lots of great friends, from lighting designer friends to set carpenter friends.
Of a wide array of skills and
Yep.
knowledge. So you're bringing a bunch of different experts to the table, whereas he wants kind of just a variety of people in general,
That's right.
not
Yep.
necessarily in certain areas. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, just give something to kind of the people watching. What is one thing that's inspired you? What's one live event or multi-screen setup or video endeavor that you've seen recently that's really inspired?
Oh man,
It's probably not going to be in the United States.
No, it's not. No, there's an event called Eurovision. It's kind of like the American Idol for Europe, and it's basically a bunch of countries in Europe competing against each other.
Wow.
If you have a chance, you can YouTube the word Eurovision. The 2014 has already happened. Incredible production, just
cool.
mind-blowing.
We'll make sure to put that in the notes too when we post this. Anything right now that's kind of been really inspiring lately?
Well, like we mentioned earlier, this serial story, I love that idea of one story going over multiple episodes for them, but we've been striving to do that for a long time. So much of the church is just single events, but to think of the impact, we see that in sermon series, but how much of that do we extend into the creative world, that often things that can recur. So those are the kind of questions we're asking ourselves right now. Seeing things like Serial and other things that extend over
Breaking
long
the
periods of time.
52 unique experiences
Yeah.
into how do we have these flow, not just from a series concept, but from an element.
Yeah,
in
really.
and
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, these guys are not only dear friends, they're great resources for you guys. And so I'd highly recommend checking them out. We have nicholasrivero.com. It would be a great place to see everything that you're doing, working on, connect with you on Twitter and all that, as well as Jason Dyba, see some of the recent songs he's been writing, different live event pieces he's done, as well as just kind of keeping up to date with all the things that are going through his head as the creative genius that he is. So highly encourage you to check them out. Just a couple of things to know that are coming down the pipeline for Transform Christmas. Today we have a 3-credit Tuesday. If you've never been around TripleWide Media, you got to check this out, because this basically is your chance to get something at 75% off. It only happens for 24 hours. One day, 75% off. You don't want to miss that. So we'll be back next week. One big announcement that we are so excited about TripleWide is that we've got HD content. And we've joked it's not just HD, it's TripleWide HD. And so it's almost like a 4K media file, but we've broken it into that aspect ratio. So thanks for being with us. Stay tuned on Twitter at TripleWide Media and use the hashtag TWMXmas14.